So I guess this is I think this is the first live of the new year for for me for this channel, right? So hopefully everybody's doing good. Everybody's has or is having a great start to their new year. So far, so good. Or new cycle, I like to call it. So today, I usually go lives on Sundays, but you know it's Saturday, so sometimes I go with the feeling. So I said, you know what, today's a good day. So let's see what information I've got downloaded from the universe, so I can share with you guys. Morning, everybody. How's everybody do? Happy new cycle. Yes, happy new cycle. That's correct. I like to call it new cycle. Hello, hi, Misha, Bobby here, Jackie, Juliana. Hi, Juliana. Grand Rising, Silver King. How's everybody doing? So, how's everybody's new cycle starting so far? Have you guys noticed a different energy? What's going on with you guys? Hi from Malta. Wow, beautiful. So, energy flows where attention goes. I know we hear that a lot, right? Energy flows, your attention goes. Energy flows. But I really don't think a lot of us really know what that means. I mean, I think we just have a basic understanding, and we think, okay, energy goes where attention flows. But what is the bigger meaning? Because this is a very powerful paradigm shift here. You gotta understand, you know. So what does it mean? I ask you guys, what does it mean when they say energy goes where attention flows? What is energy? What is attention? What is flow? Sound very simple, but I think I want to help you to understand a deeper meaning of this, and I want you to understand the true meaning of this, so that you can use this in your everyday life, and then you can become more aware and see beyond, so that you can really take charge of deliberately creating your life. So can anyone tell me? I'll touch on ego. Someone says I've been trying to manifest from the ego, apparently. How to manifest from the higher self. I'll get into that. Energy flows where attention goes. Can someone break that down? Tell me the meaning of that. Because I'm gonna share something with you now. Did you know that there are more than one different energy source? I mean, if you want to get technical, you are displacing trillions of energy in the form of oscillation outside to the universe from your body. You're constantly communicating to the world, the universe. You know, your subconscious is like 20 billion, a billion bits per second. Your conscious mind is like 40 bits per second. Did you know that? Of information. That's just your subconscious is doing billions of stuff, but energy is very crucial, because check this out now. We live in a field of energy, so everyone should know that about quantum physics. So basically, quantum physics now has shown all of us that there is no material world. Everything is actually immaterial. So we are actually like sound waves transferred to light waves. Light waves become illusions of physical things. So we're constant. That's how it starts. So we see our world through waves. These waves then become a thing. You know, it's like if you put like a bunch of salt or pepper on a table, and then you activate a sound wave. You notice how the salt and the pepper, those molecules, they form like a shape, like they form like a geometric shape, something that we can make out, right? See that? So everything is actually from sound, and then it becomes, even light came from sound. So we are constantly like emitting so much stuff. But what I want to show you is that the energy part, when I say energy goes where attention flows, there's more than one source of energy, because there are actually like infinite amounts of energy being processed right now, but we can't get all of it, because your conscious mind can only do 40 bits, your subconscious about 1 billion bits per second. So there's infinite amounts, so that there's other sources coming in from us. And there's another part of your body that helps to get information. This, I'm talking about the gut in here. Your gut actually has processes too that can pick up information. This is why you feel gut instinct. It's separate from your subconscious mind. hmm So it means whatever you put your attention on will grow and manifest, good or sad. That is correct. But let me ask you this question though. Check this out. You say that's good. Everyone says, energy flows where attention go. So what about those individuals that they're like they're focusing on good stuff, right? Their attention is like on positive stuff, right? But yet nothing is manifest. As a matter of fact, their attention is on the good stuff, but they're not manifesting any good stuff. They're just manifesting like the opposite of what they want, or they're just manifesting what they don't want. What's going on there? Because it says energy flows. Now remember, I gave you a clue here. I said there's different sources of energy that we put out. So can someone explain that to me? Why is it when someone is focusing on something positive, their attention is on good stuff, yet there's like nothing? It's like, what's going on there, man? Someone says we don't truly believe we deserve the good. Okay, we're getting warm there. So let me ask you this question. So if someone is focusing on making more money, like living a good life, you don't think they feel they deserve it? I mean, I think they feel they deserve it because they're focusing on it, right? So there gotta be something deeper going on here. Just think about it. A lot of people do that. Everyday people, we're like, man, I discovered this spiritual secret here, how the law of attraction and my subconscious mind work, and it's manifesting stuff. I'm gonna start to use my gifts, man. I'm gonna use what God, the universe, made for me as part of. So they start to like think good stuff, and they're focusing. And I'm sure all of you, if you're focusing on something and thinking about something, you gotta think you deserve it. Otherwise, why would you be, spending your time visualizing it and doing all this stuff? But yet, that's energy, and the law says energy, where energy flows, where energy goes, attention. Your attention, energy flows where attention goes. So it says that I'm doing this stuff, but man, I'm not seeing stuff, man. Right. So someone got it good here. So this is Louis Fuller had the answer right here. Well, he answered in a question, but yeah, it's your subconscious mind. So what you got to learn, and I just showed you guys, is that it's not just one source of energy that we are processing. The reason we focus on the awareness energy is because that's the one we can decode so easily. But that's not the one. That's when they talk about where energy goes, attention flows. They're not talking, well, they probably don't know this, but this is deep stuff here. But when you hear where energy goes, attention flows where energy, blah, blah, blah. They're not talking about consciously. That's not consciously. That's a subconscious thing. So what do I mean? So that type of energy is a feeling state. Let me repeat that. The type of energy that flows and you manifest is not a thinking or a percepting or awareness state. It's a being, feeling state. It's a what am I feeling in this very moment. I can be thinking and being aware of all the positive stuff around me today, but I just don't feel it inside. I just don't feel positive. I just don't. I mean, I'm like, I'm like literally forcing my mind to look at the bright side of stuff, but my feelings are counter. It's not working there. So something important is the feeling is the thing. And it sounds like you're beating a dead horse here, but you hear it all the time from other teachers. Feeling is the secret. Feeling, feeling, feeling. Never got it. All these, but I wonder. I wonder what if you guys know what feelings are though. Like, what type of feeling do I have to have? Like, am I supposed to like exuberate this particular feeling here? What's what? Because they talk about feeling. So we have a lot of things that says, well, Mark, you gotta feel like really, really positive. You gotta feel like this. So I'm gonna make it very easy for you. I'm gonna teach you right now a feeling that you can cultivate, and it is the top. Let's see, number one, number two. Yeah, it's the number two most powerful feeling in the entire universe. That state. It's even more powerful than love, joy. See that? That's the feeling state I want you guys to get into, and I'm going to teach you how to do that today, because that's the missing link right there. Because we have so much information going on around here, you guys really get confused because you try to do stuff here, and it's just like, man, well, Mark, well, this YouTube channel, Mark, well, this teacher, Mark, well, I read from this person and that person's and da 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 da, and but you're not like getting the results you want, right? I mean, you're here for results, right? That's what it is, right? You want results, right? You want stuff in your life that you can see, like, okay, I see a little change going, right? That's what we all here for. I mean, you watch this stuff on YouTube and everything. You just don't watch it just because, oh, you watch it because you want to get something that's going to change your life. So you want to get something that's going to say, all right, this guy just taught me something here that I'm going to get results. That's why people come to you. That's what I think. People if you're a business person, people don't buy your products because they like you. People buy your products because of the results they can get them. So yeah, some of them may buy it because they like you, but all human beings, everything we look for, we say, okay, what can this do to help me? So that's what I'm going to help you to understand. I'm going to give you something that can get you results right now. All right. So here's the feeling that you want to get into when it comes to the energy part of this, like the feeling part, because as I said, it's the feeling is the secret, and it's a subconscious thing. Okay, so that and this is the most easiest thing to get into, because you don't have to like generate any type of energy. This feeling is the feeling of this beep, neutrality. Neutral. You put your car in neutral, you press the gas, all you hear is a woo, goes nowhere, but the engine is still running, everything is still functioning. You can put your AC on, you put your car in drive, it just moves, put in reverse. The feeling that you want to get into, guys, is a feeling of neutrality. When you become neutral in the subconscious mind, then you're able to open up different realities or different sets of opportunities that you could never see otherwise. Because as I said to you before, I said there is a constant communication of infinite information being processed. Your body can only take so much of it. So the only way your body can get the full amount to give you some insights or give you some pointers or give you the aha moment that will give you a result is when you are neutral. When you are neutral, you are in connection with every single thing in the universe. You're never out of tune. Because neutral, guys, when you're in neutral, it doesn't take any focus. See that? When you're in a state of neutrality, you don't have to focus on nothing. There's no focus. There's just observation. Repeat that. When you're in a state of neutrality, you're just observing. When you observe, That's when you learn, that's when you get ideas, because your mind is open. So when you become neutral, you get every single thing you want. I guarantee you this 100%. I learned this 2 years ago. 2 years ago, that's when I learned this for me, and I applied it, and that's where I'm going now in this next evolution here, is to teach people to get into what I call a flow state and a neutrality state, because when someone can get in that state, man, you don't have to do a lot of stuff anymore. It's remarkable. You don't have to like do a lot of techniques. No, you cut out all that stuff. I mean, the only thing you're gonna have to, the only thing you do is really, is, I mean, the only thing you do is visualize. So, what is the state of neutrality? What can I? Let me give you an example. What the state of neutrality is. I'm gonna see if I can make it simple, so you, related to you. All right. So this is state of neutrality. On my daily, whatever I am doing, okay. I'm going and doing stuff, okay. What I'm doing is I am just observing things that are making it easy for me to do what I want to do. I'm observing things that are making it hard for me to do what I want to do. That's the state of neutrality. I am not forcing, I'm not trying, I'm going with whatever presents itself. That's the state of neutrality. If it's going too much out of my way, if I feel like I'm pushing, I step back, because there is something more powerful than me, like guiding me, and it knows way more than I do. Because remember, you and I are the same. We're just processing 40 bits per second in our conscious mind. There's other parts of my body that are picking up information that I can't see, and I can only sense it, and I sense it through my gut. So when I get in a state of neutrality, it will talk to me, and the first things it tells me is, hey, if it feels like it's too much, or it feels like you're pushing, you gotta get into neutrality. So that's the state of neutrality. Everything I do, I go with flow. So if I go somewhere and I notice like, dang, I can't control this, I let it go. I go somewhere and I notice like, I'm doing something, maybe I go to a store and I want to get something, and there's a person in front of me and he's arguing with the cashier lady, and I'm there behind him, and I'm like, okay, I'm leaving, because I'm supposed to go to the store, and then if I'm next, I'm supposed to just do what I do and then leave. Those are things of neutrality for me. It's like things like that. It's very small stuff like that. I call it acute awareness. All right. See that? So that's state of neutrality. So I want to go back to someone's question and ask me about the how to manifest. You're manifesting from the ego state, but you want to manifest from your higher self state. So if to manifest from the higher self state, right? So it's going to be again feeling. So there's what I can do. I can show you what state you're in, and then you have to make the adjustment. So anytime you're manifesting from an ego state, you will have the following feelings. Okay. You will feel obligated. You will feel you have to prove. You will feel you have to do. You will feel like if you don't, something's wrong. You will feel like you're not making progress. You will feel anxious. You will feel nervous. You will feel overexcited. I didn't know that one. I thought I want to be the higher self. That's actually ego. And you usually feel overexcited because you have so much going on in your mind trying to get things to you. So you got all these different emotions and thoughts. It's going to automatically feel like overexcited. You're going to feel doubt. You're going to feel worry. Those are manifesting from the ego state. Let me give you some more. You're going to do a lot of overthinking. A lot of over analyzing. You're gonna analyze. You're gonna judge. You're gonna wonder, is it me or is it that? You're gonna try to figure out why and how it's not there. All those are ego states. Also, another one from the ego state, you're going to do a lot of action stuff. You're going to be busting your ass and sweating and doing all this type of stuff, and you're going to be over exhausted. Yes, we got to be careful of our speech. That's when you're manifesting from ego. So someone asked me that earlier. So now all we have to do now, we just have to flip that, the opposite. So when you're manifesting from a higher self state, you're going to feel neutrality. You're going to feel peace. You're going to feel cool. You're gonna feel insights. You're gonna be open. You're gonna be aware. You're gonna do a lot of observation. You're not gonna be judging. You're gonna people when people come around, you're not gonna have like a certain stigma about people. You're gonna let people be who they want to be, even though your mind is gonna try to give you like a, because we all do this. Everybody we meet, our minds, we already have an image or our perception of them, right? Or judgment of, even though we don't know them, we say, oh, he looks like that, she looks like that. Your mind's gonna automatically do that. But when you're in a higher self state, you're gonna shut that out. You're just gonna go and say, hey, I'm just gonna let this person be who they are to me. Let them show me who they are. I'm not gonna prejudge them. So you're gonna have that. You're gonna have empathy. You're gonna be. I'm gonna use this, but it's the best way. You're gonna be like a robot. You know, robots, they don't have like, they're just a machine just observes. A machine, there's no favoritism. They don't even know like, okay, they don't have stigmas like, okay, you're just like, you got to be like that. You're just gonna be like, hey, whatever. You will introduce yourself and I will know who you are. That's when you're from a higher self state. Also, when you're from a higher self state, you're gonna have more optimism. You're gonna be more optimistic. Okay, you're gonna always think of good stuff. You're gonna visualize what if, what would it look like. So that's how you know the difference between when you're in an ego or a higher self state. See that? So yeah. So when you talk about feeling now, the feeling is to be accepted and interconnected with whatever the flow state. Just observe. Because listen, guys, when you start to observe without judgment, like when you just let things fold out and watch people and all that stuff without judgment, that's when you're going to pick up some of these infinite signs and infinite aha moments that you couldn't otherwise get. And these, when you pick these up, they're not going to come from your subconscious, by the way. They're going to come from your gut, because your gut has the ability to process. So you'll know through the gut. Your gut will give you like, I'm in a good place. I'm in the right place. Once you get more connected into the flow state now, your gut's going to also be more connected with you. So that means when you go someplace, you walk into a store, you automatically feel something, or anywhere you go, you'll feel something. If you just go somewhere random and you just feel nervous, you just feel anxious, it's your gut telling you something's happening. So it's a good indication that, okay, I don't feel it. I don't feel this. Let me go here. Da da da. Things like that. See that? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you gotta watch people without judgment. Happy New Year, Monica. Hey Mark, magic is another higher level of consciousness. Yeah, magic is what we call quantum physics, where you can do stuff with your mind and it pop pairs, but it's definitely a higher level. Magic, it's the same thing. Alchemy. So that's the thing there. So how you want to make this work is you want to use to make energy flow and manifest stuff, right? That's why we have to keep the gut clear of toxins. Health is wealth. Yeah, yeah. Your gut. You mean? I'm telling you, man. It's your gut that manifests the world for you. Your gut talks to the subconscious mind first, and sometimes your gut can talk to your subconscious mind, and then your gut could change its own mind. Your gut could go to your subconscious and then come back and say, no, 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 actually, I don't need you to do this. I'm going to cut you off, and I'm going to just go ahead and do this myself. Let me repeat that again. Your gut can actually send information to your subconscious and then renege it back, because your gut has the ability to process more information, actually more than the subconscious mind. No, not more in a what's the best word here? Not more in a numbers way, but more in a quality way. It can pick up information that's more relevant to you than your subconscious can, because your gut produces those neurotoxins, or those neurochemicals that the brain and the subconscious needs. So your gut can actually go to the subconscious and then pick up some new information and say, okay, wait a minute, things have changed here, and cut your subconscious off and just talk to you. But the thing is, if you don't know this, if you don't know what when the gut is doing this, you're not going to pick it up. So some signs that your gut is talking to you and not your subconscious mind is you all have it. Butterflies, queasiness, that feeling of just peace, euphoric. Also, I'll give you another sign. When you hear your gut, because you could all hear it too, when the gut starts, like you hear that, it's producing acid. That means that there's something going on around you that's making you stress. But you got to be very observant to know your body. You can actually start to eat, and you can hear the gut starts to secrete the hydrochloric acid, or acid that your stomach used to digest. So sometimes it can talk to you like that. All of a sudden, you may hear your gut just start. Maybe you ate and you're good, and your gut just start grumbling or just starts acting a little. That's a communication. That's your gut talking to you. But we mistake it for like, oh man, I don't know, man, something, my gut, something. So if you're someone that you know that, and I ate, why would my gut doing this? Or you notice that you're somewhere and you just hear that, like, your gut secreting that acid. you got it. That's it's talking to you. So you got, that means, okay, let me check my surroundings. What's happening here? Let me just be more aware here. What can I pick up here? Then your subconscious mind can come in and then fill in the blank. Your gut makes your ears ring as well. Your gut is connected to one of the biggest nerves in your body. It's called the vagus nerves. That's right. It runs right parallel here. The vagus nerve is right here. It controls the electrical impulse of the heart. The gut has more neurons than your spinal cord. Neurons. Check that out. Neurons, like your brain has neurons, it has neurons in there. It has more than your spinal cord. Plus, it can cut off communication. It's a two-way channel. It can go to your brain, and then it can cut off your brain and do its own thing. Yeah, the gut speaks to the subconscious mind. So remember, subconscious is illogical. It's going to pick everything up, but there has to be things. Remember, your body. Remember, you have nerve cells. These nerve cells, you have billions and trillions of nerve cells in your body, guys. You have trillions of cells. Within each cell, do you know how cells communicate to each other? They do it telepathically. They send out what you call neurochemicals. They put like fumes, like they put chemicals out. These chemicals are invisible. You can't see them. So it's like telepathy. It's like air. So when cells are communicating to each cell, they send out neurochemicals, and these chemicals go to the other cell, and the cell smells the chemical, know the type of chemical, and they do a certain procedure or whatever it is. So that your gut does that all the time, and your bacteria in your gut are doing the same thing. They're always communicating to each other and to other cells in the body. So they have more awareness of your environment, even more than your subconscious mind can. So what happens is your gut will pick up stuff, and then it will send it to your subconscious mind, and then your subconscious mind will relay to your conscious mind, and then your conscious mind will create an emotion based on something thinking of you. Sometimes I'm going to prove it to you how your gut is more powerful. You can literally just sit here and not thinking of anything, and then all of a sudden you just start feeling nervous in your gut for no reason. How many people that like, dang, why am I feeling weird? I'm not, there's no negative thoughts going on in my head. See that? All of a sudden you walk into like a store or somewhere, and you just feel like anxious, like you're not thinking of anything. Where's that? That's coming from the gut, because the gut is picking up these informations, like their waves, their frequencies. Not only does it do that now, see, when the gut picks up these feelings or these energies, right? That's where your subconscious mind now is going to make it a real thing for you. Remember I told you my story, right? I said for a long time, now nothing wrong with caffeine. I just said, so, you know, I know a lot of people love their caffeine. You can still do caffeine, but I would recommend you do it minimally. But I love caffeine, man. I used to drink like iced tea and coffee, you know, stuff like that. But for a long time, I was trying to figure out why my physical world was reflecting like what I was feeling, and I never pieced it together until recently, until in retrospect I look back. So what was happening was, when I would drink a lot of this, I would get this like nervous feeling in my stomach from the caffeine, and I knew that was part of caffeine, because they tell you that. They said, you know, caffeine can make you feel a little bit nervous, and they say, oh, it's natural, it's cool. No, it's not. So I'm gonna show you why, and I'll give you my experience. So I noticed that anytime I would have this nervousness or this kind of feeling like something's happening, you know, it is a feeling like something ain't right. That's what the caffeine would make me feel, like, you know, nervous, like, man, what's... So anytime I would get that, there would be things in my personal or real life that would reflect that experience of something that like that all the time. Every time I would get a nervous feeling, I would create something in my physical world to match what I was feeling. It would make something happen to make me validate that feeling. Anxious, panic, whatever, something. And that's, I mean, that's not good. So that means it wasn't good stuff happening. It was like all type of weird little hiccups, and like, damn, why is this happening? So one night I was just chilling, and it just popped into my head, and it says, hey Mark, have you ever thought that maybe these weird things that are happening to you is because of the feeling in your gut? Why don't you try and stop drinking the caffeine for a week and see what happens? And I said, I did it. I went for 1 week, and the first week it was kind of hard though, because, you know, you get a little bit of caffeine withdrawal. I got these headaches, and, you know, but I was like, man, I got to try this. And for 1 week, those feelings never came, and then 2 weeks, like my life just started to change, and I was like, oh my goodness. That's the first thing I said. I was like this, damn, why is nobody talking about this, yo? Like, shoot, it's my gut that's creating my experiences, man. It's like, damn it. Because I stopped, and then everything stopped. The stuff that so I was in state of peace and good stuff started happening to me. I started sleeping better too, you know. I get more quality sleep, you know, less caffeine, you can sleep a lot better. But I couldn't like totally wean off the caffeine though, so it kind of came back. So what I did was I started to like limit myself little by little. So 1 week I'd maybe have 2 days I drink caffeine, the next month 1 day, and then eventually I just weaned off of caffeine completely. And since then, I have no more of those trippy stuff. because my gut now is in a state of that neutrality. And that's when I knew that this is something that they don't know, or maybe someone doesn't have to put this out yet. Now I'll say this as well. Caffeine responds to people differently now. So there's people I know that they can drink 5 cups of caffeine and sleep like a baby. I can't do that. People I know, they can have 6 cups of caffeine and they never get queasiness or that nervousness in their gut. So it just depends on the individual you are. So if you're someone, if you're experiencing like a lot of anxiousness, the sign you might want to cut out the caffeine. But if you're someone that doesn't affect you, hey, more power, go for it. See it? See how it works? So it's your gut that's all of this, because your gut talks to your subconscious mind. So see, when I was feeling these nervousness and stuff, it was a communication from my gut to tell my subconscious mind what to manifest into my life. It says, hey, Mark is feeling a lot of this. Let's create something that makes it manifest. And how do I know it's coming from my subconscious? Because my subconscious is illogical. Because it could only happen from my subconscious, because all the things I was feeling was actually my physical world. So that's when I knew. I said, oh man, so this is how it works. So my gut gets information first, then sends it to my subconscious, and my subconscious then creates my experiences. I used to think it was the other way around. I used to think, oh, it's my subconscious. I used to think, oh, it's my conscious mind. And then my conscious mind goes to my subconscious, and then no, it's not gonna work like that. It's my gut, man. So once I discovered that, I went right to work. Everything I changed everything. Everything was about my gut now. Wait, okay, gut. Wait, I got it. Because this is how it manifests. Healthy gut, healthy life, wealthy life. Healthy gut, healthy life, wealthy life. I started doing all this type of stuff for my gut. And I started doing research on my gut. Finding what's it called, the ENS system, integrity. I found out the neurons. I found, okay, probiotics. Started to get more natural probiotics in my body. Started to intermittent fast now. Started to eat meals in like smaller portions, spread them out. I started doing all this stuff, man. And because I understood now, like, damn, man, this is the power I had. And so, you know what I mean? And since I did that, it just did a 360. So I'm here to tell you guys, groundbreaking news. If you don't know this yet, you're gonna see a lot of teachers start talking about this now. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's your gut that talks to your subconscious, and your subconscious is what creates the stuff based on the input from your gut. Remember that. If you don't believe me, test my theory out. You go, if you're someone who's a caffeine drinker and you feel all this stuff, go 1 week. Go do intermittent fasting and visualize it. You see how much more results. See how it works? Houston, Texas in the building. Hey, Houston. Soon as I hit the jackpot, I'm going to send you a nice cash. Definitely, guys. Yeah, hit those jackpots, man. You know, it's good, you know, help you guys to win. You win, give back. Hit those jackpots. You can send some donations. All the donations I get from people who win the lottery, when they send me donations and stuff, I just put it right back into this machine here. I just use it to build more content and just to expand this teaching. So it's good. It's for a good cause. For me to make more content for you guys, for me to hire more people too, to help me to create stuff, because I can't do this by myself. So you see, it's a well-oiled machine. We all help each other. You give back. The more you give back, the more you're gonna get. Hi Mark, I won 211 pounds the other day. One more number, I would have won 4,500 pounds. I feel in my gut. Yep. And that's another thing. The feeling in when your gut gives you a feeling, it's true. It's never ignore the feeling in your gut. Haha. How many of you have done that, right? I could tell you right now what you say. Damn, I should have listened to my gut. Because I've been there. Mark, do you have Cash App? Yeah, I have Cash App. But I don't know how to put it like on the YouTube and all that stuff. Guys, you gotta understand, man. I'm not like I'm a tech savvy, like the basic stuff. But I put a lot of stuff on my. You could go to my like my YouTube description and PayPal and stuff. So if you want to like donate stuff, like when you win the lottery, and I'm telling you, you know, when you win and you give back, right? So, for example, let's say you win the lottery. You say, all right, man, I'm gonna give Mark something here because you know this guy like for years has been putting me on and help. And when you give back, you see, when you give back, it's gonna come back to you like 10 times more. I'm gonna show you why. Because anytime we give something, it's moving. So that means it has to gather momentum. So the more we give, it has to come back because it has to go around and come back to the source. And then what I do now, when I get that, I use it for this to give more people, to show more people information, to make more of these, like you see these all these stuff, these TikTok stuff I do, Instagram posts, all these things I'm doing, videos, thumbnails, editing, all those stuff. It's all because of you guys, the tribe. I'm doing it to bring it back to you guys. The new channel I started, Quantum Podcast, Chosen One. Go get to that channel, be a patron supporter, because that's what we use to just everything. And that's the beauty of doing this. See, the thing is that when you're being of service to other people, what you do, that's correct. You circulate the cash. What I do is being of service to other people. You let your audience get involved in it. So when your audience, like when you become a patron supporter and you put your monthly Patreon or whatever you donate, all that stuff, it's coming back right around back to you. Because what's happening now, we create more content, and then out of these content, I'm gonna say something that's gonna trigger something in your mind to give you that aha moment that you were missing. I'm not gonna do it myself. I get all these things from downloads. So like the universe uses me too. So that means when you're giving back, Mark is gonna say something one day in one of these videos that's gonna resonate to you, that there was something that you were trying to figure out, a missing link, and I'm gonna say it, and I'm not even gonna know I say it, but to you, you're gonna be like, damn, that's the missing piece. And then you take that information, voila. See that? I won $1 million from Texas. Look at this, beautiful. See that? So it's always good to do that, guys. So Quantum Chosen One podcast, subscribe, Patreon. With the Patreon supporters, do a lot of good stuff. I make exclusive content for the Patreon guys and for everybody. And then for my YouTube, regular YouTube channel, the membership things, you guys been doing good. You've been members on there. So what I do is I do the vibrational numbers on there because I mean the emails are just too much. I just don't have time, man. I mean, I gotta hire more people. I gotta have some, and I just can't hire just people. I gotta like vet people or feel people that I know that resonate with me, that want to do this stuff. So what I did, I said, you know what? Let me just put it on the community post. So if you guys want to just get your numbers, just become a member, and then it's easy for me. I can just go there and just boom, 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 fill out your vibration numbers. That way I don't have to go through so many different channels of email. I got like 2 different websites, actually 3 websites, and I got like 4 or 5 different outlets of email, so they're all going all over the place. I mean, I got one person that's good. Edward's been, if you know Edward, he's been working with me for like 5 years, my tech guy. So he does a lot of those stuff, but I mean, I'm expanding more and more. So so if you try to reach me and like, oh man, Mark's not answering, it's not personal. I just don't have. It's just me. I'm getting people on board, but you know how it goes. So just be patient. That's why I do a lot of these lives here, so I can get you guys. And then the best way, guys, to really get in touch with me is go to the Quantum Chosen One podcast. Subscribe there, because we tape every Wednesday. I think Wednesday we do it. You can actually get on live Zoom and we can talk. You can give your questions, or you can go to the Instagram page and do the DM. You can do voice notes. You can leave your questions, and we answer all of those during the show, just like I'm doing now. So you always have options. You always have openings now to get your questions and to get your to fine tune your style so that you can manifest what you want. Yeah, the emails are flood, man. It's like it's months, but I can't do it. So yeah, yeah, prime. You just can't. You're right. Just can't let anybody come into your realm. Because I mean, I'm a good judge of people, so I can feel people out and I can know, okay, you're right. I can work with you and you can help me, and I do that all the time. And I mean, you guys, a lot of stuff is coming from you guys. You guys have been helping me a lot. I get instant. Hey Mark, can I do your thumbnail? Yes. Hey Mark, can I do this for you? Hey Mark, can I make this subliminal for you? I'm like, yo, yeah, man. So a lot of you guys are the ones that are, like coming, and I love that to see that. Okay, you guys have talents and gifts and you want to help give back. You guys give me all the good ideas for videos. You say, hey Mark, why don't you make a video on this? Mark, you do this, so it's all coming from you. See that? So big ups to you, all of you guys, the ones, all you know who you are, the ones that have been hitting me up. Mark, let me do this for you. Mark, let me make a subliminal. Mark, da, 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 da. All this stuff, man, all because of you guys. So we keep it in the tribe, in the house, circulated, because all of you guys have good talents, doing your thing. So I want to go to the so how does subliminals work for these past nights? So subliminals basically, guys, the easy way for how subliminals work, just remember this: critical divide. Yeah, Edward is awesome. Edward is a good guy, man. Edward just, when you connect with people for a reason. So you know so okay, critical divide. Subliminals are designed to bypass critical divide. So if you didn't have a critical divide, let me show you. If you didn't have a critical divide, you wouldn't need mass subliminals. You could just talk and your own voice and you would manifest everything. The reason subliminals got advanced is because of the critical divide. The critical divide is the part of the mind that filters. It's like, you could call it like a YouTube or what is it, Twitter. They have filter keywords. So if someone tweets certain things, the computer will pick something up and you won't post it, or they'll ban it, or whatever like that. Your critical divide is like that. So what it does, it listens for keywords that doesn't match what your subconscious says, or the ego. The ego, your ego, guys, your ego want to help you. Ego wants to help you now because it wants good stuff. It's a matrix world. It wants the material stuff, which is good. You can use that to your advantage to help you. So when you say something like money, love, deserving, those trigger your critical divide to step in and say, nah, we don't deserve this stuff. So your subconscious doesn't even get it to create, because your subconscious, if there wasn't a critical divide, everything goes boom, right in. So subliminals, what they do is they create a distraction now. So they trick the mind, so to speak. So what happens is, the subliminals, they have two frequency tones. There's the audio that you can hear, and then there's the non-audible that you can't hear, which is affirmations or spoken words like that. Only your subconscious can pick up. So on one hand, your critical divide is distracted by the music of the water, or and it, unbeknownst to it, there's words hidden in it, and your subconscious mind now doesn't have anybody to critique it, so the subconscious has no choice but to accept it. Repeatedly, though. It just doesn't happen overnight. This is a month's process, like a 3 months process. The thing about the subconscious is, it just doesn't take anything the first time. It's like you have to continue to repeat it, and then it will accept it. So if you're someone that's using subliminals, you gotta plan for the long haul, so to speak. At least 3 months consistently. That's when you're gonna see the results. If you're using subliminals like inconsistently, intermittently, you're not going to see the results, because you haven't given your mind time to get acclimated to create a link. If you don't give your mind a time to create a link, nothing is going to happen, because that's just how we are formed and we are created. Everything comes through learning, conditioning over and over again. Think about athletes. Think about you in your trade or your skill. When you get good at something and you do it over and over, you become what they call it, what? An expert. So for you, for your subconscious to become an expert in manifesting what you want, you have to do what you want over and over for a period of time until the neurons link up. Right? So this is from, who we got here? Ifra Dub. So this is a member here, channel member. Hi Mark, can you talk more tracking your manifestation? Your last video was so insightful. Thank you. Yes, certainly. So in my last video, if you watch it, again, something I discovered, and I'm sharing it because I experienced it. Guys, I want to show you something. A lot of stuff that I put out on my channel, I talk about. It's not just stuff that is like it's happening or it's like what everybody else is talking about. It's things that I experience that a lot of people don't talk about or don't know what's happened. So I'm shedding light to you on a new level of awareness of how the universe works, because it worked for me and it's going to work for you. So here's another groundbreaking one theory that I discovered about how the universe works. The universe will actually show you the progress of your manifestation. It will show you how close it is to manifesting, like tracking a package. So it comes in 3 phases. So let me show you how it works now. And this is from the lottery. I see all this through the lottery signs. I'm gonna be on the lottery. So here's what happens. I'm gonna piggyback between both of these. So when you go buy something online, okay? I'm gonna go to that to make it easy for you. When you buy something online, when you see something on the internet or whatever, okay, I like that. That's called making a decision. When you decide what you want in the spiritual world, say, okay, I want that. That's you buying something online. That's called making a decision. So when you buy something online, of course you already paid for it, right? So it's yours. So when you buy something, what happens? You get a confirmation email. The email says, thank you for purchasing such and such. We're preparing your package for shipment. Here's your tracking number. They give you all of that. Same concept with the universe. So once you decide something you want, you make a decision, that's what I want, and you start to visualize it, you're going to get your confirmation number from the universe. The confirmation number is mirroring. For example, the car. I decided I want the yellow 1 of 10 car they ever made. After that, I started seeing tons of yellow cars. The universe, just like I'm tracking on Amazon or eBay, here's my seat. So that's the level 1. So okay, so now I'm like, all right, good. So my order went through. Okay, now when your order don't go through and you want something, what's the email say? We couldn't process your order. So how does that work when manifesting? The only way your order can never go through when you're manifesting is because you haven't decided, or you're uncertain. You don't even know what you want. You just start thinking all kind of weird, You haven't locked in on something specific or made a decision on what you want. That's the only time it's not going to go through. Just like when you order something, oh, your credit card couldn't read, couldn't accept payment. Okay, so we seen a correlation here. All right, good. That's the level 1. Now the level 2 now is after I get my tracking number from wherever, UPS or whatever, I can easily go on my phone and I could track my package. I can see where it's at, and it usually says, oh, your package has been shipped. It's on the way. The level 2 now is the synchronicities. So I start seeing 77888. My package is en route. It's being shipped, like whatever. See that? Following me here? Okay. Remember, all of this happened exactly to me when I won the lottery and when I manifest anything else. It always never goes just like this. And as a matter of fact, it goes the same way with you. If you stop and think about this now and go back in your mind, you're gonna be like, damn, he is right, man. I noticed, when I manifested that, he was right. I seen the mirror. I seen the synchronicity. So I'm gonna get to that. So the level 2 is the synchronicity, and then we're gonna get to the level 3. So the level 2 is, check your thing. It says in progress, being shipped. Now, level 3 is it's now arrived at its destination, it's being sorted, and now it's on the truck out for delivery. That's the level 3. So what the signs for the level 3 now, and that's why I made that video, I said these are the two biggest signs. So when you see these signs, it literally means your manifestation is literally weeks away. Weeks to maybe month. Weeks, literally. Okay. I lost what, 54? I was in the midst of making at the same before that. What step would I be in? Okay, I'll go back to that. So let me show you the level 3 now. And this is where people, level 3 is where a lot of people get their package sent back to the shipper where they don't pick their package up. So you got to be ready for level 3. So okay, so let me go back again. So when you order a package, what happens if you don't pick up your package? What happens? Your package will get sent back to the what? To the retailer or seller. Then you're gonna have to go back again and reorder it again, right? The universe doesn't work kind of like, it doesn't work in an exact way. So when the universe, when you miss your package, you don't have to start all over again. You will just get a delay, and then you have to pick up from where you left off. So it's not a whole, I gotta go back and do this whole process. It doesn't work like that. The universe will keep sending it to you until you get it. So here's a level 3 to know that your manifestation is literally weeks away. So there's two signs of it. The first one is when you don't feel inspired or motivated anymore. When you try to visualize and it's just not going, you're like, man, I used to visualize so easily. Why can't I do this anymore? And if you notice, I'll show you this. If you watch a Cynthia Stafford interview we did on a quantum podcast there, you know, it took her 3 years to manifest that money, right? And she knew the last state of it, and she said it in the interview, and that's when it clicked in my. I was like, okay, so now this is a law. It's no longer a theory now, because it just was in my mind because I've been doing this. When she said it, I was like, boom, so it is a law. That's why I came out, and I want to say, you know what state she was in? She said, I didn't feel like visualizing anymore. She was in the final state of it. So what happens with that? Well, what happens is when you're in the final state, there's two signs. When you don't feel motivated, you don't feel like visualizing. It's like your body is like fighting you. Your body's like against you. Like your body's saying, I'm good. That's the subconscious mind. That's your body saying to you, like, we've got this already. Just go back to order something. If you try to order the package from the thing, the message will say, you've already ordered this package. It'll say, you paid for this already. Do you want to pay for another one? That's what the message will say. It says, hey man, you already ordered this. Here's your tracking number. You want to pay for another one? That's what the subconscious mind is saying to you. Listen, this is already done. So let's make something new now. That's why the body responds when you don't feel motivated. And the next part of it is you get like negative things happening to you. Like all of a sudden you feel like bad, people call it bad luck or whatever. Like, man, why am I going through this streak where all these negative stuff are happening to me? It's not that what's happening. What's happening is because you're getting ready to experience something that you've been creating for a while, you have to become the thing to get what you want. So that means now you have to clear space from the old you to become that new version of you to experience whatever you want. And what happens when you're doing that, you're going to meet these little hiccups because your vibration is changing. So you're leaving from the old stuff, and this is why you're experiencing all these like hiccups of these negative things happening. Okay, that's it. So that's how the universe works. So that's why I say to you guys, now you're smart, and I give it to you. You can always track your package to see where your manifestation is. So many of you now, you know, okay, level 1, level 2, level 3. Mark, please read my question. I need clarity. Can you retype your question? Mind, body, soul. I didn't see it. What, Mark? What if our ego comes in? Well, your ego comes in all the time. But this is where your awareness of watching the signs can put your ego to check, because now you know what's happening. You say, okay, I'm seeing the one. I'm seeing the synchronicities. I'm seeing the mirroring. Yet my ego is telling me nothing's happening. You already know the answer. You know that, okay, your ego's a liar because you see the signs. So the universe when the universe shows you signs, that's what you got to look at. You can't listen to what your ego says. You gotta look at what you're seeing, the signs you're seeing, right? So do you stop the visualizing affirmations? Your body will let you know that. When you get to that level 3, you will know that yourself. Your body will tell you when to stop, because you will try to do it, you just won't feel to do it. Don't force anything. So it's there's your answer: mind, body, and soul. So your body and your mind will let you know when you get to that point. Just like Cynthia, right? Stafford, right? She was doing vision for every night, right? And she get to a point. Now here's something. Now, when you get to the level 3 point, keep in mind now, you can go through the state of not visualizing or being motivated. That could last for months. So, okay, so I'm not making it seem like it could be like weeks. It could be weeks, 2 months. Cynthia, remember, she went months not feeling like motivated, and that actually happened to me. I went months without feeling to visualize. It was like almost 4 months that I wasn't doing anything, visualize anything. I was just keeping my routine, buying my tickets and putting them up like a robot. I wasn't like excited or about it anymore. Something just told me like, hey man, let it go, man. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But at that time I didn't know I was in the level 3. But now in retrospect, and I look back, I'm looking back and I say, all right, so that's what actually happened there. So I was trying to like visualize, but my body was actually telling me like, hey man, that stuff is already at the warehouse, man. We're getting ready to deliver it to you. You're like, you know, that's why. So now that's part of the flow state. Right. Remember the Matrix? Morpheus said to Neo, unfortunately, none can be told what the Matrix is. Right? They have to see it for yourself. Exactly. That's a great point, my friend. Who's this? Altamina? Yes, Altamina. Yep. And that's what happens when the universe. For you guys, I mean, I expect you guys to know this stuff. If you're new to this, then you're a beginner, you can learn. But for you guys, now you know what's happening. So everyone here should know what stage their manifestation is in right now. All of you should know right now. You should know where you're at right now. There it is. So everyone now has, okay, see where I'm at. I'm at level 1. I'm at level 2. I'm level 3. So that's it. So now you know, okay, I'm good. But the big picture is, I want to show you something. Once you pay for what you want, it's on the way to you. And with the universe, you don't need money to pay for it. All you need is a decision. In the Matrix world, you need money to pay for your items. That's how Amazon's not going to send you nothing for free. eBay, whatever companies go online, Gucci, Prada, I don't know, they're not going to send you nothing for free. You have to put some. The universe sends it to you for free by deciding if you want it. That's the big lesson here. And what we do is we take the Matrix world and we try to incorporate it into the spiritual world, where it doesn't happen. Because what happens is we've been trained that if I want something, you do that. If you go into a store, you want something, you have to buy it. So in your mind now, man, I want that. What's the version of buying that? The version of buying that now is like, how are you going to get that? See that? That's why a lot of you don't make a decision, because the first thing comes to your mind is your ego says, you want that? Man, first of all, how are you going to get it? See? And then you give up. You're like, damn, yeah. That's not how it works. You just have to decide, no matter what. Don't worry about how you're going to get that stuff. Just say, I want that. That's what I desire. Then you go do the work, which is to visualize, which is the attention, which is the subconscious clearing up. See, another thing that you must understand is, and this is the Matrix teaching, and doesn't work in the 5D world, is only when you decide what you want, that's when things go in motion to help you to get it, not before. In other words, you never have to figure out how you're going to get what you decide, no matter how big or small it is. You just have to decide that's what you want. When you truly decide what you want, and it's very easy, deciding is an intention, just saying, all right, I want that. I'm going to focus on, I'm going to visualize. And ignoring your ego trying to say how you're going to get that. That's called deciding. After you do that, that's when the things are going to go in motion, and that's when the help's going to come to you. That's when people are going to pop out of the blue. That's where ideas are going to pop out of the blue to show you that, okay, this is how you're going to do it. These are some of the ways that we can get that. But you will never know exactly how it comes to you until it comes to you, until it's in your hands. Like me, I never knew exactly where I was going to win, what store I was going to win. I visualized the store. I would say luckily, I don't know if luckily, but my visualization played out exactly the way I see that. I checked it. Well, it did. The store I checked, but you never know where that you're going to, I'll just use the lottery. You never know where you're going to buy that winning ticket. You're never going to know that until it happens. Well, I say that you may know that if you get a dream, because there are people who dream like specific places and they get that, but that's another thing. But in over general stuff, it's the same thing with when you want stuff in what you call the matrix, because you got to use the matrix to interact, right? All right. Can you, Mark? Can you explain how the subconscious is affected by video games? Yeah, it's a program. The subconscious mind is affected so easily by so we talk about social media, right, in the last podcast, and video games. So I'll give you an example. So if you're playing a video game and there's like a lot of violence in the game, that actually will create what you call, it will actually numb your empathy state in the brain, because now the mind gets used to seeing violence, and to you violence becomes easy, and you're actually more prone, listen to this, you're actually more prone to become angrier and abusive when people are surrounded with a lot of violent stuff. This is a condition of the brain. So that's see how it works. So you have to be really careful of what you're inundating yourself around every day, because your brain is going to adapt to that. On the brighter side, think about it. So that means if you're someone and you watch a lot of videos on like big mansions, big houses, making money, manifesting health, being like 5D, your brain is going to adopt that. That's what, one day you're going to be that person. One day you're going to have a mansion. One day you're going to have that car, that house, that lot, that building. One day it's going to happen if you keep that repetition going. I can guarantee you it. One day it must come to pass. And of course, you know what one day is, right? One day is what? Now. Today's now, right? See that? But remember how time works. It's a concept we create in our minds. So what I'm saying is, if you see that thing, you have it now, right this moment. And it goes back to the feeling. So the feeling of neutrality is what gives you that now. Because when you're neutral, you know what neutrality breeds? Neutrality breeds expectation. Expectation is one of the most powerful states to have. Because when you expect something, did you know when you expect something, your ego can't mess with you in expectation? You know that? Because expectation is so broad. There's nothing specific. It's not like a day or time. So now your ego is like left like in limbo. It's like, man, your ego's like, guy, give me something, man. Give me a day or time, man, so I could pin this down. Don't do it. That's how he's gonna trick you. If you give your ego like, I expect this in a month or two, it got you. You're down, because now your ego says, got you. So now it's gonna mess with you and remind you, hey man, it's getting to a month. See, I told you it wouldn't happen. You get anxious, you get nervous, you get depressed. See? Don't play the game. Yup. Just expect for it to happen without anything. It could happen at any moment. You need to do that so your ego can stay in limbo. Because your ego wants something to grab on to mess with you. Man, I thought you said we're going to do this. I thought you said we're going to have this in a month, man. Come on, man. We gave ourselves 4 months. Nothing happened yet. See? This stuff don't work. been 4 months, bro. You gonna do another 4 months? It's the same thing. See that? See that how that little thing can mess you up? So you just expect. Now your ego is gonna be. Trust me, your ego is mad, man. It wants. It's like, man, why aren't you giving me that stuff, man? Come on. Don't fall for the trap. Just keep the ego in expectation, because it's gonna free up a lot of resistance, and you're gonna manifest a lot faster. And now when it comes, the ego. And you know the thing about the ego is, it's like that friend, man. Well, I don't know if it's a friend, but it's like those people. They're with you when you're up, and when you're down, they're just staying away from you and talking shit about you. But when you're up, they're your friend. That's how your ego is. You know that, right? When your breakthrough comes, your ego's like, yes, I know we could have done it. See, I told you we could do it. But when it doesn't come, man, told you, man, it's not going to happen. Did you ever notice that about your own mind? Probably haven't, right? Your mind is your own worst enemy. It's not the people around you. It's your own mind. Because it's your greatest supporter and it's your greatest critic. The ego. So you have to be careful of how you interact and notice your mind. So when it comes to stuff, I give my ego the least amount of information. And the trick is, you know how I eliminate my ego? I'm gonna show you how you eliminate your ego. You can't kill your ego, but you can take him out the game. You can put him on the bench. So he plays very limited minutes. He won't play a lot of minutes. He just plays very limited minutes so it doesn't affect the game. So you know what I do? I erase time. That's it. I don't function in linear time anymore. I function in moments of moments. See? My ego can't grasp that, so it's not going to play. It can't. It's like your ego can't understand the play. I just created a new playbook, and he can't understand the play because he's been programmed for linear time. So that's how I eliminate my ego out the game a lot, and it works like a T, man. So if you want to eliminate your ego, you got to learn to live in two time dimensions. You got to be in the present, and then you have to exist in linear time but not be affected by linear time. Is a difference, because you know the matrix is run by linear time. You got to know when to go to work, when to do stuff. But you can exist there but not be of it, and that's what I do with my ego. I don't give any time stuff. When I visualize stuff, when I'm expecting stuff, I used to do it, but I discovered that my ego would eat me up. So now I said, all right, so I reverse engineered. I was like, okay, how can I fix this guy? Time. This guy works with time. What if I take time out of the equation? And I did that. So everything now is like a moment of moments. So I look at things like blocks, like moments of blocks. Okay, this moment, that moment. I don't look at like next week Wednesday, next week Thursday, Friday, Saturday, next 1 month. Like even the new year, I talk about new year. I look at it as a cycle. See that? 222. It's a cycle. So all these little things that help me, so my ego stays as much on the bench. And you definitely need that, because if you're going to get what you want and be more optimal and get the best without having to go through a lot of ups and downs, you definitely need that, because your ego could be your greatest stopper. You know, I said this before, the subconscious is an easy fix. We know that. The ego now, it takes a little more awareness. You got to be a little more cunning. You got to be a little more up with your ego, because it's smart. Remember, it's a part of your mind that can think and logic, so it can trick you. And you don't even know you've been played. It can play you. And you think about your ego. Somebody says it. Who says it? Your ego can sell water to a well. You could have water and it could sell you water, and you wouldn't even know it. Your ego can play you, man. And most people are getting played by their ego, and they don't even know they're being played. That's how good your ego is. It's like the smooth talker, the suave guy. You're getting played and you don't even know you're getting played. That's the greatest trick of your ego. So you have to understand the subconscious is an easy fix, and I showed you guys how to do that. You can go fix your subconscious. You can do self-hypnosis. You can go hypnotherapy. You can use your subliminals. You can do those affirmations, those questions. As long as you repeat those and you stick to it for like 3 months, game over. Subconscious is going to do its thing. The ego is a different story. It's not that easy with your ego because it's constantly reinventing itself. It's constantly watching and seeing. It's playing chess with you. It's like, he's making that move, I'm going to make this move. Because your ego always wants to be in control. It always wants to be the forerunner. So a lot of you guys, if you notice that, okay, Mark, I've done the work, man, my subconscious is done it, but I'm still having struggle, it means that you haven't figured out the game plan for your ego yet. That's the last piece of the puzzle for you. So I'm teaching you how your ego is so you can become aware of it. Ego is the front runner. Three months, geez, man, some people have to go 6 months. It just depends how much blockage you have. And again, I show you how the ego works. See, we think of time, see, like, oh, 3 months. That's actually nothing. That's no time. Time does not exist. You know, the cycle of 2022 is just a vibration. It's something we collectively give to it. But if you want to get technical, it's still right now. Now, it's been now for whatever past 50, 60, 20 years. It's still now. It's just human concept. The cycle 365 days. No, it's not Wednesday. It's not Saturday. It's now. When Sunday comes, it's now. These are names we give things to make sense of our little world of the matrix. But in all reality, it's all now. So that's why when I discovered that, I started to become in the neutral state. Because when another thing about being in a neutral state, neutrality is time doesn't exist in the neutrality state. Not linear time, at least. I'm always now, now, now. You ever seen that's post when I have the clock? And on the clock is just like, what? It had the clock with the time. It says now, 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 now. That's a big trick your ego plays on you. It makes you think time is relative. You're out of time. Time is running out. Does neutrality silence the ego? Yes. Neutrality silences the ego. Because there's no ammunition for the ego. Remember, when you're in neutral, like, look, all right, let me show you something. If you put your car in neutral, there's nothing going on. There's nothing. So there's nothing, you know, if your car's in neutral and chilling, your car's not going to break down. You put your car in drive, you have more chances for your car to break down. You could have a hose pop, you could drive shaft go down. It's a lot more, because there's a lot more moving parts going on. When you're in neutral, ain't nothing exciting going on, so your ego can't come in the game. Your ego's looking for spice. Your ego's looking for excitement. It's looking for drama. It's looking for action. It's looking for nervousness. It's looking to just get you to wind yourself up and worry yourself and all that. When that ain't there, it's forced to sit back, because it's gonna come and it's gonna say, man, you're boring, man. Ain't nothing happening here. It's gonna leave you alone. That's what you want. Now, when it leaves you alone, you open a lot of space to connect with your authentic self. Now your gut is more clear to talk to you. Your subconscious, your intuition. By the way, intuition comes from your gut. Okay, remember that. So when you get intuition, it's not from the subconscious. So it's a gut. The gut translates intuition into your conscious mind. So that's something you may not know. So think about it. If you're in neutral state, the ego is that guy or that girl that's always looking for the action. So if the ego goes to the party and everybody's just sitting there meditating or doing nothing, the ego's not going to stay. He's going to leave. He's going to go next door where it's like all this music and da-da-da-da, because he wants to be in the party. That's how your ego works. Is neutral the same as stoic? It's a little bit different. Okay, here's what happens. So whenever you get into the state of neutrality, all right, when you get neutrality, there's going to be two states that's going to be developed if you stay in neutrality. Neutrality will always lead to the highest vibrational state ever, is state of enlightenment, and the second highest vibrational state is peace. So when you get into neutrality, you're going to branch off and create two different types of states. Now you're going to create, that's where you're going to get enlightened, and that's where you're going to have peace. Those are the top three according to the Hertz scale. So we measure things in hertz, vibration of 4 point whatever the hertz of the earth is. Everything gives off a certain frequency signature. And they measure this. And if you go look, you could research for yourself. You could see that love and joy is down at the bottom. The top three, I'll give you them in top three order. Number one is enlightenment. Number two is actually neutrality. And number three is peace. So those three states, so if you develop, in other words, you develop one, you're going to get all three. So when you get into a state of, think about it, when you get into a state of neutrality, your life becomes more peaceful. Because there's nothing that's going to affect you anymore. Because you're not judging, you're not expecting like a certain thing, you're not attached to anything. Things are just showing you what they are, and then you're accepting them for what they are based on what they perceive to you. So your life will become more peaceful. So more peace means less ego. Now if you have less ego, you have more channel for information to come into you, which will take you to enlightenment. So when you get to enlightenment now, that's what people call 5D consciousness. Now enlightenment is the understanding of how what you're seeing is working. It's the inner working. Spiritual awakening is the awareness of what's going on around you. Enlightenment is understanding how and why it's going on around you. So enlightenment is the deepest, highest part of knowledge. Yep. So you gotta let your ego play chess and you play checkers, so you be ahead of your ego. The scale of enlightenment. So enlightenment has there's really two states of enlightenment. Okay, you have the enlightenment state where you are understanding what's happening around you. Okay, and then the next level up is what you call the super conscious state of enlightenment. That's the most highest state you can. When you're into that state, that's where you can do trippy stuff with your mind. That's where you can do like remote viewing. That's where you can send like telepathic messages, not literally like have a conversation, because you can't do that right now, but you can send telepathic messages to people and they will react to somehow. You can influence the field. You can even affect the weather in that state. The wind, at least. You can make the wind move and stuff. And I actually have a person that contacted me on Instagram, and he sent me videos. And to get to that state, you have to really do a lot of meditation. But this guy was actually moving the wind with his hands like this in his car. I mean, I've seen the video, so it's not fake. So when somebody watches my video, he's like asking me help. He's like, "Hey, Mark, I don't know what's happening here." But you can affect the wind and the weather and stuff like that. You can affect people's fields of their energy. You can have people more receptive or open. You can sense things a lot easier. You can see beyond. You can see languages and words and meanings and things. Your dreams become more vivid. You become lucid dreaming. You can be able to astral project, astral travel. You can do all these things now. That's the highest level of enlightenment, superconscious state of enlightenment. That takes a lot of patience, and to get to that state, your gut and your body have to be on a different level. It's a lifestyle change to be in that state. Point blank. Because your body have to become a new machine to be able to channel that amount of information in there. That means your diet has to change, the food everything has to change for you to get to that level. Because the body now becomes a conduit. No, you don't have to be a vegetarian to be in a enlightened consciousness. You don't have to be a vegetarian. People think, I gotta go be a vegan. No, you don't. You have to, the food you eat definitely gonna affect it. Your sleep cycle has to change. You have to be able to get more sleep. You have to do a lot of meditation. You have to, people who get into that state, they are in control of their ego, because the ego doesn't get into that state. It can't get into that state. And that's why I say once you develop neutrality, it's very easy for your ego to get out, because now you're training the mind. You're telling the mind that I'm not judging people anymore. I'm accepting people for who they are. You know, if you think about it, guys, when it comes to people, right? Um, isn't it a lot easier to just let people show their true colors than you trying to bust your mind and trying to like think about who they are and what they're gonna do to you and like protect and scared? Why don't you just let people be people? Because they're gonna show you regardless who they are, right? That's the state of neutrality. And you know, and then you have more opportunities coming into that state now because now you're gonna have like you don't have this mental image or block. Someone could come in your life that could help you change your life, but because you have an ego says, I don't trust that guy. Something about him, and you don't give him a shot or whatever. See, when you're in a flow state now, people are gonna come to you who they are, and then you can decide, okay, you know what, man, I'm glad I really talked to her or him because before, man, my ego was giving me this image of who you are, man, and you're not like it. And how many of us have experienced that? How many times have we seen people and they're not who we think they are? We always have. Where does that come from? It comes from the program of the Matrix. The Matrix will give you persona of what people should look like, based on how people look. This is their characteristics. That's the Matrix. It doesn't work like that. Oh man, he's this way, he's that way. Look at how he dressed. He's not. That's the Matrix, and you mess up opportunities that could be in your way. I try to treat everybody the same. I look at everybody the same. I'm not saying I'm perfect all the time, but majority of the times I catch it and I do it, because you never know who is who. You got to treat people the same, man, because they are you from a different fractal. Every single person in this entire world, even me, I'm you from a different fractal. You're me, I'm you from a different fractal. So when you see someone out there, that's you. Yeah, it really is you. You experience a different fractal of your consciousness. So what I think about that person or what I do to that person, I'm doing it to myself. Now I may not come back today, may not come back tomorrow, but it's gonna come back, and it has to come back because everything goes around must come back to the source. Everyone, that's right, everyone is you pushed out. So you have to be aware of that what you do to one affects all. What you say to that person or think about that person, it's actually you're bringing it back around to you. People call it karma. It's cause and effect. One thing is everything. If you get anything from this live today, is that you are you're part of a whole. It's like this is a whole thing right here. I'll give you an example. What can I use here? This napkin here. So just look at this napkin, right? This is the whole napkin. You're this whole napkin, okay? Every single person is just a different point in this napkin. So this person over here is still you because you're a part of the whole. You're just on another side of it. You're not separate from it. See? I'm here, here. It's all me. So that means any people you see and you have certain stigmas or you stereotype people or you think about certain ways, you're affecting yourself down the line. What we want wants us. That's something you need to know. So you have to start to treat people differently and start to see people like respect people just like you, because you're affecting your own field. You're affecting your abundance that way. You're not going to, trust me, you're not going to see it the next day or whatever. You can, and you're not, possibly you're never going to tie it together. You will never know that guy that you helped that day right there change his tire, or that lady that you picked that stuff from her on top of the shelf, she couldn't reach it. You're never going to know, like 6 months down the line, you got your break because you did that thing, because you helped her put that stuff down. You'll never know that stuff. But it does affect things, because energy, there's always be a cause and effect for everything. So if you put something out good, it has to come back around to the source. So even the little stuff you do is the biggest impact in your life. It could be 6 months down the line. You will never know that one day you did that stuff is the reason you had this big breakthrough right now. You can never know that. It's just too much processing. But but we know it does work. It does happen. You know why? Because now we understand everything is one. If you think about it, if I do something to like this is my body. If I pinch myself over here, I'm still feeling it. If I pinch my foot on my foot, even though my foot is a little farther than my arm, so I go to my foot, I'm still feeling it. I'm the same person. It's the same thing with people. So remember that. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say it. Like your mama told you. If you don't have anything good at all to say to people, it's good to say about somebody, don't say it. Our dreams are signed from the universe. Dreams are signed from your subconscious, or you can say the universe. Yep. So, strange question. Is there objective wrong and right in life, or is it subjective, or God does have a morality system? That's actually a great question here, Patel. So, everything just is. Human beings, we give meaning to stuff. If you look at anything that happens in your life, it's only two things you control: how you feel and how you react. That's number one. It's a question of morality now, because we have this. Mark, so it's not good. So it means that right or wrong. So if somebody kills someone, is that right or wrong? Da, 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 all that stuff. Well, here's my answer to that. You're gonna reap what you sow. Every cause is gonna have an effect. Of course, if you do something bad to someone, you're gonna get the law to affect you. So just remember that it's a cause and effect. Now, question of God and morality now is that's a figment of the matrix. There isn't. Okay, you know who God is? God is more profound, more excited, God is more profound and more inspiring than you could ever imagine any religion could teach you. God is better than all the religions I showed you. The Christian religion, you know why? Because with the Christian religion, or most religions, they identify God in a human concept. What do you mean by human concept? They identify God like us. They identify God with feelings. He's a jealous God. He's a judgmental God. God is nothing like that. God is whatever you focus on, He gives it to you. There's no judgment. You don't care if you're black, white, purple, green, down. You don't care if you're rich, poor, huh? You don't care if you're a bad person and you're manifesting. Whatever you focus on, you're going to get that, man. That's what I'm talking. That's who God is, man. That's the true God. So anything you see about morality, about you got to do this, that's a figment of humans made that up. It's a business. You know, religion is a business, like a CEO, like a corporate stuff. No. There's no judgment zone. God is like this frequency of consciousness that resides in all of us, and there's two fields happen at the same time. There's a duality field, right? And then we go beyond that duality field. You know, we get into the infinite field now. Okay? Now think about this. Quantum physics says that we live in a world of vibration, oscillation, frequency. Okay? That's quantum physics says that. Not only does it says that now, it says that the world is actually immaterial. And then to profound that more, not only the world is immaterial, but the world, or the multiverse now, has different existence of infinite potentials. Now it goes beyond that. Not only these potentials, but these potentials become physical probability, actual stuff. One thing controls access to all of that. It's your consciousness. Consciously, subconsciously. So to get further than that now, it says the particles that make you and I have to repeat themselves eternally, forever, forever and ever. Not only do they have to repeat themselves forever and ever, every possible situation that you can't imagine or can't imagine right now must play out somewhere in the field as a coordinate in space-time. As this big now, everything's happening now, but it's at different coordinates. Remember I showed you, just like this thing here. This is all of us right here. This is time. It's all happening right now. See, this is time. Look at this thing as time. So there's different coordinates over here and here and here and here, but it's still in the same time. The only difference is your perception. You don't have your brain can't perceive so far into the now. So you can't see over here right now because your brain can't process it, but it's still happening. So physics says there's an infinite possibility in all of these points right now. So if you think about that in your life, it says that you have the ability to literally be, do, have anything you want by the mind, where your attention goes, energy flows. So that is what God is. That's who you are. That's part of it. Okay, so there's nobody that's going to judge you. There's nobody that's sitting and telling you that you don't deserve it. You get all of that stuff from religion. The reason why you feel you don't deserve stuff is because of a lot of religion. You're not worthy enough. God didn't approve you. God says that you're doing too much stuff. God says that you're bad. God said that you're imperfect. God said that God ain't say none of that because there ain't no God that gonna do that, bro. Sorry, break it to you. That's breaking news. You want to hear more breaking news? It's gonna get even more deeper than that, because now, I said this before, I talk about the James Webb telescope that took 25 years to build this telescope, and it cost $10 billion. 25 years in the making. The most technological thing human beings ever created is the James Webb telescope. So this telescope they launched, it's going to go 1,000,000 miles from the Earth. It's going to open its solar panels, and it's going to be the first time in human history that we will be able to see the planets of other distant stars and galaxies more clearly and precisely. Not only see the planets now, the instruments will actually measure the chemical signatures of the atmosphere. Carbon, oxygen, anything that emits signs of intelligence will now be able to detect. We could never do that before. What you think is going to happen? What's going to happen when the James Webb telescope finds evidence of life, whether it be intelligent or whatever life? Maybe it's primitive life like us, but each life will give off carbon. They'll give off their footprints. This telescope will pick that up and will send it back. This starts right now. The telescope is unfolding. It's going to take in the next 6 months. We'll see our first images of it. Want to get something deeper? National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, has just hired a team of priests to prepare religion for contact. Let me repeat that. NASA has hired priests on their team to prepare their religions for contact, or to be aware that we are not alone in this universe, whether primitive or no life. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. Get ready. What does that do for the Vatican? Yeah, the Vatican's doing it. But I told you guys, religion is a business. So you know what they're gonna do? They got to hire the priest because they got to spin it away now to make it fit the Bible. Oh, no. Just you know, the Bible, yeah, we knew there were life. Look at this verse right here. Because they got to keep their business going. Think, okay? I'm teaching you something here. Think. Why priests? Because Christian religion is the religion that teaches that there are no other life forms, that God only created man and that's it. So that's why they have to hire priests, because most of the religions are Christians. What's going to happen is that's going to put Christian religion down, man. Just think about it. It says that Jesus had to die on the cross for every single human life form in the universe. It didn't say that. It said Jesus died for mankind. So they got to flip the script now. They have to say, well, that means Jesus had to die on Alpha Centauri. He had to go over sacrifice over there because there's more life forms. That doesn't make any sense, right? Yes, that's right, World Bridger. Open your mind, guys. Open your mind. Priest of all persons. Yeah, because priest represents Christians. Christianity, Catholic, Protestant, whatever it is. So the thing about science, and I realize, guys, is that you know, science doesn't care, and the universe, in fact, don't care about like what we little human beings made up about our little lifestyle, about our little cultures, our beliefs about religion and this. The universe doesn't care about all that stuff. The universe is going to show its true colors regardless. You're just going to have to get on. You're just going to have to get on and accept it. So, yeah, go look it up. They because because guys, you gotta think about this. The galaxy alone we live in. So if you have a telescope and you go look up in the sky, you see all the little dots, those little stars you see dots, okay? Those little lights, those are called stars. Within those stars are planets like ours. So when you look about those dots, imagine within each of those dots, there are billions of planets out there, just in our galaxy alone. And our galaxy is a small galaxy. It's a spiral galaxy. And then we have another multiverse. And the one thing about the universe and the pattern is geometric pattern. When things evolve, they follow a certain pattern. Everything has a pattern to it. So if our life evolved just like how we evolved, then it has to happen somewhere else out there. What about religion? There was no religion. You ever heard of the Dogons? The Dogons is an ancient group of people for the Egyptians. Go research the Dogons. Their teachings said that their teachers came from a faraway star, and they came to the Dogons. And when they came to the Dogons, they taught the Dogons about Earth, astronomy, and their teachers actually appeared from non-physical into physical. They were mist, means that they vibrated, or they were like holograms, and they interdimensionally came into our world. What does that sound like to you? Dogons. Probably you didn't hear the Dogons. This was an ancient group of people before religion, thousands of years before BC, before any religion. Their teachers came from outer space, technology, interdimension. And then the Egyptians said the same thing. And then we have chromosome number 2, which 6,000 years is still a baffle. No one knows how. The only thing they know is that it was actually manipulated genetically by something or someone. It's not an evolutionary process. You can look that up. So all these things are pointing out, and a lot of people are going to be in shock, man. People get ready for a paradigm change here. So you guys get ready for a paradigm change. Well, Mark, people can't handle this, man. That's why they got to keep this thing a secret, man, because so many people will lose or die or whatever when they find out all their life they've been doing is there's none of this stuff exists. Well, as I said, the universe don't care about none of that. It's going to happen anyway. And besides, people go through paradigm shifts every day. People get cheated on. People discover that their loved one who's really are. So there's a paradigm shift every day for people. People get diagnosed with sickness that change your life every day, right? You couldn't believe it would happen to you, but it did. You didn't believe that your spouse would do this. That's a paradigm shift. When you think someone's the way they are on the earth. So we go through paradigm shifts every day, and it's going to happen again as a human race or consciousness. So, I mean, you all are here at this time it's going to happen. Just like there was a time before religion, people didn't know about religion, and religion came in through the Romans and Council of Nicaea. It's going to be a time now where we're going to do a new paradigm where you're going to see man, I don't think we're even alone on this planet. I mean, we're not even alone. We're not even the top. Maybe we're just a creation of some other intelligent super being. Maybe. Get ready. I'm putting it here first, so get ready. Go look at the Dogons, and you can see records that these ancient people had encounters, and they described them. Why aliens don't visit now? That's a great question. So I'll put it to you like this. So we're talking about the evolution of humanity, of Homo sapiens, 6,000 years, right? 6,000 years for Homo sapiens. Yeah, Homo erectus, Homo habilis. Then we became Homo sapiens, which 6,000 years, chromosome number 2 evolved us. So basically what chromosome number 2 is, guys, it's a chromosome that's responsible for telomeres, for aging, for empathy, for cognitive thinking, for the part of our brain that makes us more human, they're able to conceptualize. That's chromosome number 2. So that separates us from all the other animals. Human beings have the ability to think and critically. That's the chromosome number 2. If that wasn't genetically engineered, we would still be evolving right now. We still wouldn't have the ability to critically think. So something came and did that. So someone asked a good question. So why don't aliens come and visit? So look at it like this. We're just doing it from a human perspective, but I just want to show you big picture. So if we evolved 6,000 years, now there are other star systems that are 1,000,000 years ahead of us. Imagine the evolution in 1,000,000 years. Imagine meet someone, you can't, but just imagine meeting someone that's 1,000,000 years more technologically advanced than you and I. It's impossible to imagine that, okay? So let me bring it down so you can understand. Imagine you, a human being right now, and you walk in and you open your car door and there's the ant nest right there. Just a bunch of ants. Would you go down to an ant and say, hey, ants, what's up, man? You don't even care about the ants. That's what aliens are to us. We're the ants. They're not going to come here and advertise themselves and say, hey, hey, what we here? They look to us as ants because they're more highly advanced. These are two things. Either they're the ones that genetically engineered us, and like this is like what you call a zoo planet where they're watching and observing their creatures, and that's why you see them, because maybe they're just popping in and out to see how we are evolving. But why would they come down and announce themselves to the ants? Would you go to the ant and say, hey, show me the ant queen? Take me to your ant queen, man. Would you pick out a single ant and say, hey, you know, I'm your creator, man. I helped you. You don't care because you're so evolved. And plus the ants can't even communicate with you. They don't even know what's happening. So look at it that way, guys, when it comes to intelligent life or other life forms. It's really that simple. They are thousands of years ahead of you. And you and I can't imagine that right now because we don't know what it would be. So I'll make it simple to you. So look at us. Who said this? Someone says this. He says, it's like taking a motorcycle and going back in time and parking the motorcycle in the 12th century next to horse carriages and leaving the motorcycle there. All the people in the 12th century will look at the motorcycle and be fascinated because they got horses. They don't know how it works. They can't even figure how it works, but they'll just be fascinated. That would be the analogy of the technology versus our technology. It's like going back into or taking a nuclear reactor or showing how nuclear systems work in the Victorian era to all the scientists. Even take it back to Isaac Newton time. One of the best scientists. He'll never figure it out. He'll never figure it out. It's like, all he can do is, oh wow. That's what I'm talking about. See it? What do you think about reptilians is real? You know, I would say we're for a paradigm shift, so everything is possible. I hear about the reptilians. I hear that, you know, there's beings that can shift and change and things. We're in what we call a very paradigm shift in time, guys. The reptilian brain is the reptilian brain is the frontal cortex. It's what we call the ego brain. It's a part of the brain that still hasn't evolved and caught up yet. It's like a Homo erectus, Homo habilis. It's a survival brain. That's why we call it reptilian old brain. So someone asked why aliens, and if you're curious why the aliens or other beings don't like park on Washington D.C. or announce themselves in New York City, because we're ants. You don't go to the ants queen. They don't care about, guys. You gotta look at the big picture here. When you have something that's more advanced than you, you don't have time to go. You don't care about that stuff. A matter of fact, you'll walk across the ants nest. You don't care if they see you. Who cares? Sometimes when people see these crafts and they're like, oh, these crafts, you think they care? If they're monitoring you or they're your creators, they're just gonna watch you just like you watch animals. But there'll never be a time where you see them park up and come out and say, we're here, because they're so much highly advanced than you and I. Just like you will never go to the ants and say, show me your ant queen. You have nothing to offer. What can you learn from ants? Think about it. What are the ants going to do for you? right? Like your dog, let's bring it home, like your pet. Can you go have a conversation with your pet? Can you ask your pet, hey, can you stop at the supermarket and pick this up for me? Your dog's gonna look at you like you're crazy. Huh? There's just levels that we just can't understand right now. There's just so much thing perplexing to humans that it's just gonna be a continuous paradigm shift happening and happening. And I said this too, like there was this guy, his name is Bob Lazar, and then people used to talk about this guy. He worked at Area 51 back in 20 years ago or something. And they have these crafts that they found, and some of these crafts they said were archaeological digs. They found these crafts, and the government or whatever they're working on it, what they do, they put these crafts in private industries so that the Freedom of Information Act, you can't know about them, so it's a lot to keep them secret. So they're trying to reverse engineer this technology. So people used to say, oh, this Bob Lazar, man, this guy's a liar, man, that they found his story is true. And now, you know, Monica's on here, and Monica just shed a lot of light on it. She was a flight attendant back in Nevada, and she had Bob Lazar on her plane. That shut that one down. Oh, this guy didn't work at Area 51. Monica was a flight attendant. There's the guy there every day. So what they used to do with these crafts, and that's what I'll tell you about, they used to put the crafts away for 10 years and hope that technology would catch up. And after 10 years, they hope that our technology would catch up to understand how the crafts work. And they still can't understand how these crafts work, man. So it's like them, it's like the crafts to us are like we're like the prehistoric, and we have these things, we could figure out certain things about them. Like these crafts create what's called gravitational wave. They create gravitational wave. It's a machine you can turn on, it makes anti-gravity. There is no machine that can do that in human today. You cannot turn gravity. So that means if you can control gravity, you can control time. Because time and gravity, time space is one thing. Not saying the time, when I'm talking about time, I'm not talking about going into the past or stuff. But you can shift time where you can manipulate the awareness of time or the present time. Because, and now we discovered gravitational waves now. We didn't know about gravitational waves. It was recent. Einstein had it in his prediction as part of the his theory of relativity that black holes, when they collide, they should send a ripple of gravitational waves. And it was 5 years ago that we discovered, okay, gravitational waves was true. This guy was saying this 20 years ago. Then there's another element, what is it, element 14 or something, that they discovered. They recently discovered that. So he was saying all these things before. So what I'm showing you guys is you got to wake up, guys. You got to wake up and see that there are things out there that are deliberately being hidden from you because it will affect your paradigm, and there's other branches that are working to keep this stuff from affecting their whole paradigm. So you cannot sit back and just go and like la 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 la. There's bigger things happening out there that you are not aware of. They have these crafts in there, and they actually have materials, extraterrestrial materials, not from this planet. They're in the hands of private industries that are trying to reverse engineer them. They've been doing it for the past 30 years. Yeah, there's people. There are people right now that know more than you and I would ever know about our true purpose. I mean, what it's worth. There's people that had contacts that are working with technology not from this world in private industries. Some of them may be you watching this. Maybe you're one of those persons and you can't even tell your wife or your kids because you sign a contract, you sign a disclosure act. But there are people out there. So with that, guys, I will leave you to ponder. Ponder that. So I would like you to ponder that. See, I like to leave you to think, to see big picture, and just to explore your world and to see beyond and see what's possible, because that's going to only help you more. It's going to help. It's going to empower you. It's going to give you an awareness where we are, who you truly are, what's possible, where you're from. All this stuff is now going to help you, because once you discover this stuff, now you can see where you're headed, man. Now you can see stuff crumbling, the matrix and all the stuff they try to hide from you, now you start to understand your place. And that's very empowering. Okay. So thank you guys for tuning into this live, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.